Thank you very much.
Minister Antich, Simeon, fellow ambassadors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for inviting me here to speak to you today. As you know, there are quite a few Australian speakers over the next 2 days throughout the program, and Simeon, you already mentioned my colleague Anthony Weymouth from Austrade. I'd wanted to share with you today a little bit of context as to why there are so many Australians here, a little bit of background about our country and the role that mining has played in our economy, our prosperity, and our economic growth. I'd also like to add that the opportunities for me to share these experiences here in Serbia have grown in recent years, and that's because of the improved conditions here in Serbia, the opportunities that have arisen that have really attracted the attention of Australian mining companies. The Minister mentioned the new mining law. This certainly helps the environment for Australian companies, and I very much hope that the trend will continue in terms of Australian investment and interest in the mining sector here in Serbia. There are definitely opportunities for an expanded Australian presence in multiple fields, including minerals processing, infrastructure, sustainable environmental practices, training and skills. Ever since gold was discovered in a creek bed somewhere in the dusty outback of New South Wales in the 1840s, Australia's wealth and prosperity has been underpinned by our rich reserves of natural resources. In more recent times, this wealth and prosperity has been maintained by equitable sharing of those resources, sustainable development, and effective management. I have to say that this really has had a huge impact on our economy, on our country, on our culture. I don't think there'd be a family in Australia that was not affected by mining and had not benefited from mining and its contribution to our society. Certainly my father worked in mining for many years in a company that was eventually purchased by Rio Tinto, so that's where he ended his career before retiring. And my brother is a hydrogeologist, so he also works in mining every day. This year, the Australian economy is the 13th largest in the world. It's the 5th largest in the Asian region, and that's despite the fact that we are home to only 0.3% of the world's population. Our economy has grown by more than 3% on average every year since 1992. We are the only major developed economy to have had no recession since that time, and we are currently in our 27th year of consecutive economic growth. The resource sector has been an incredibly strong contributor to that growth story. We're very fortunate, of course, to have this significant resource endowment. We have large reserves of mineral and energy resources, including gold, iron ore and uranium, and we will soon be the world's largest producer of liquid natural gas. Our abundant resources and proximity to Asia underpin our position as a major global exporter of mineral and energy resources. From 2001 to 2017, our total resource and energy exports were estimated to have increased more than threefold to over 200 billion Australian dollars. And we're committed to sharing the success, the stories, the experiences, the knowledge with the world. And that includes, of course, here in Serbia. We're a world leader in the development and manufacturing of mining equipment, technology and services. Australian firms are competitive across the supply chain, including in exploration, engineering, minerals processing, environmental management, mine safety, research and development, and education and training. We definitely hope that Serbia will take advantage of our expertise. I'd like to speak specifically about sustainable mining, resource management. I know that's a theme that some others have already talked about this morning. Australian mining has helped to push the rise of sustainable mining methodologies globally. Australian companies have developed leading sustainable and transparent practices now used in Australia and across the world. Given the strong environmental and social demands of shareholders in Australia, Australian mining companies maintain a high standard globally. Environmental accountability, social responsibility, and commercial successes are indispensable parts of successful mining. Australia is a lucky country, as you've heard, but our experience has taught us that luck is not enough. A good resource base alone is not sufficient to ensure prosperity. There are many obstacles that you need to overcome to remain competitive and to take advantage of your resource-rich land. For Australia, for example, many of our resources are located in very remote regions, remote from major markets, remote from infrastructure and cities or workforces, and in difficult terrain. It takes strong coordination and commitment at all levels of government and industry to overcome these challenges and create enduring wealth. To realise the long-term economic benefits of a good resource base requires a combination of resources, technology, strong governance, this includes good government policy settings, and a commitment to extracting natural resources in a way that is environmentally sound, socially responsible, and commercially viable. Australia's successes in developing the resource and energy sector was supported by several important factors. Ease of doing business, access to strong capital markets, innovation through world-class research and development centres developing cutting-edge technologies, world-class mining equipment, technology and services, sophisticated approaches to managing commercial, social and environmental objectives, and of course, the availability of geological data. The end result is that Australia is a global player in key energy and mineral commodities and a world leader in sustainable mining. This is thanks to a long history of implementing strong environmental and safety regulations, as well as adopting voluntary codes of practice and standards. We know from experience that mining is, as the theme of this conference says, a driving force for economic development, and we stand ready to share our experience with Serbia. Thank you.
Your Excellency, thank you very much. Congratulations to Australia for the 27 years of growth. Coming from Greece, you know how I feel about it. And congratulations for the excellent role that Australia plays in mining worldwide. Our next speaker is His Excellency Pertti Ikonen, the Ambassador of Finland to Serbia. Let us welcome him to the podium.